and there's a tribe which has a significant member or leader in it called Suraqa Ibn Malik. Suraqa is a person whom sometimes shaitan used to come in his guise. This doesn't make, he's a Sahabi, but shaitan used to come in his image in certain meetings. And there's another Sahabi who Jibreel used to come in his image. And both Sahabi and both a lot better than me and you. So Suraqa at this stage is not a Muslim. And his tribe is somewhere between Mecca and Medina. So one of the tribesmen came and he said, I saw a couple of people, making their way towards the direction of Medina. It might be the ones the Quraysh are looking for. He's not really convinced, just as in news. But Suraqa is Suraqa, So he said quickly, nah, probably some of our tribesmen, they're just down that way. And then quickly excused himself from the meeting, told his servant, prepare my ride and get my weapon. So prepared the ride, jumped on it, took his weapon, rushed to the direction where the man had said he had seen. And now he can see them, desert afar. And Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, in this journey, he used to walk in front of the Prophet ﷺ. And then sometimes he used to run and go to behind the Prophet ﷺ. Then he used to go to his right. Then he used to go to his left. So the Rasul says, Ya Abu Bakr, what are you doing? He said, O Prophet of Allah, I stand in front and then my head says, what if there comes an attack from behind? So I rush to the back. And then I think, what if there's an attack on the right? So I come to the right. Just a man on high alert. So he notices the rider, and the rider sees them like can see. Then Suraqa Ibn Malik says himself in his narration of the situation, he says, rushing towards them, my horse's feet dug into the ground and I fell off. From the other side, from Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and the Prophet ﷺ side, they've seen a man coming, and a walk of niceness is different from an adversarial run. So Abu Bakr said, Ya Rasul, look. So the Prophet ﷺ made dua, Ya Rab, suffice me his evil however you choose. So the horse's feet dug into the ground and Suraqa fell. So Suraqa got up, picked himself up, dusted himself off, pulled the horse out, got on the horse, rode again. The Prophet ﷺ saw, Abu Bakr saw, so he said, Ya Rasul, look. So the Prophet made dua, Ya Rab, suffice me his evil however you choose. The horse's legs dug in again, a bit more deep according to some. He fell again, got up, dusted himself off, jumped on again, rushed a third time, and this time the Prophet ﷺ sees him again, makes the dua. Suraqa falls, horse goes really deep this time, falls. And at that stage, I'm joining between a couple of narrations in this. A whirlwind, little ice, localized wind that comes sometimes happened between him and the Prophet ﷺ. He said, I realized that the man is out of bounds, like you can't touch him. In other narrations, he says, I divined, like, that they had ways of, should I go right, should I go left, which way, call it dice or arrows or bones or whatever. So he goes, even that suggested don't go, So, and then he goes, I also realized, this is the Rasul of Allah. You see a person that's, anyway, so the presence of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So now the man that has come to take them captive or kill them now comes to him. He goes, Ya Muhammad, write me a guarantee of safety. Give me safe passage, so that when your Amr takes over, that I will be given safety. So the Prophet ﷺ turns to the person next to him, this is either Amr ibn Fuhayra or Abdullah ibn Urayqid. He goes, write him a guarantee that Suraqa ibn Malik has safety from Allah and His Prophet. Like Allah and His Prophet has given him safety. So Suraqa took this, and this part is, I give this version, although I know that I'm aware of the other side. So Suraqa was anticipating 200 camels. So now he's really disappointed, I lost 200 camels, fell down 3 times, And now I went to the person who I was seeking to capture to give me protection. It really turned upside down for him. So he looked a bit sad, So he said, there was 200 camels, I lost 200 camels on this. Give some financial guarantee as well. So the Prophet ﷺ said, أَعِدُكَ سَوَارِيَ الْكِسْرَةِ I promise you the bracelets of Kisra, the emperor of Persia. Or in one qawl, what will you be like? What will be the day, or what will be your affair like when you wear the bracelets, the jewelry of the emperor of Persia? So he goes, Kisra mean which one? The emperor? He goes, yes. He goes, write it. So the Rasul of Allah has promised Suraqa ibn Malik the bracelets of Kisra. So after Hunayn, after the battle of Hunayn, the tribes that belonged to Suraqa fell to Islam. And Suraqa came with his parchment that I've been given safety by the Prophet ﷺ. And he's also promised me this. So he gave it to. So at the time of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the parchment came to him that the Prophet of Allah has given safety to this and has promised him the bracelets of Kisra. So Abu Bakr as-Siddiq at his demise gave it to Umar ibn al-Khattab, that this is a promissory note from the Prophet. They had no doubt it's going to happen, so you better be aware. At the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab, Persia was conquered, and they brought some of its treasures back to Medina. And Umar is going through that, and he goes, what's this? They said, the bracelets of Kisra. So he said, go call Suraqa. So Suraqa came old man now. They brought him. So Umar threw it to him. He goes, here, and bear witness that the Prophet spoke the truth. So Suraqa picked it up crying, Sadaqa Rasulullah, Sadaqa Rasulullah. That the word of the Prophet ﷺ is indeed true. And this is one of the miracles that happened on this blessed journey.